Could the backyard brawl be silenced for a few years, all because of greed? And is it ruining college football? Because I'm pissed.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host here. This is Locked On West Virginia, 2:30 in the morning edition. We're trying to grind here a little bit as we get through another college football, basketball offseason. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by none other than Monarch Money. Right now, guys, when you want to talk about Monarch Money, they're doing it big because you want to take control of your finances with Monarch Money. You can use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off. That's half your first year. I'm not bad at math. All right, guys. So if you don't know, now you're about to find out. The Backyard Brawl is in jeopardy, and it's not because nobody wants to play it. I was speaking to somebody on that side of things earlier today after my interview with Carson Lee, and we got to talking about this. And so what he's being told on their side is, in order for the Backyard Brawl to continue after this year and close in between this gap that we're going to see, money has to become a lot less important. Because as it stands now, they've got UCF, they've got other games that they've got to get going. We've got Alabama, we have others that some fans don't even want us to knock off the schedule. They just want to play Alabama because the clout that you can get by winning that game. But there's also a financial penalty if you pull out, right? Unless the situation resolves itself and the SEC goes to its own 9-game schedule. We don't know what's going to happen there. But it led me to start thinking about something that Josh Pate was talking about today. And you know, why do I even have to deal with this? Why do I even have to care about this? Why can't we just play Pitt and things be like normal? Well, that's because college football has largely been ruined. But what's Josh Pate say about it? He's saying not so fast.
There's Ohio State. Let's say Michigan's in town. And let's say it's midway through the third quarter and they're deadlocked at 17 and it's 4th and 1 on your own 38-yard line, and they're opting to go for it. The clock's ticking down, huddle breaks, 5, 4, 3, crowds at full throat. Just pause right there. Is anybody thinking about whether Ohio State had OTA workouts? Is anybody thinking about how much the left tackle's making? You're not. So the point is, the game hasn't really been ruined at all.
So I get Josh Pate's point here, but I don't agree with it. And the game, you know, unfortunately, there's more to the game than the confines of an entire football game. And while I understand where he's coming from here, certainly the on-the-field product hasn't suffered a lot, although I think it has to an extent. I don't know if we can all tell. I don't know, you know, it's hard to say, right? Without more numbers and things behind it, whether teams are better coached now, because I think there are players that still stay around, at least enough for most of the good programs anyway, that you maybe can't tell, where these aren't just 1 year like we're going to have this year. It's going to be a pretty good experiment to see whether or not at the Power 4 level this year with 60 people, can you put it back together? The state of college football, you know, Josh, he's basically saying the sport is not ruined, and he's using this Michigan and Ohio State Power 2 teams. Imagine that, slugging it out in a classic as an excuse for it not being ruined. And it just doesn't feel like the same way. It's not the same game we grew up loving, right? Greed's taken over, and it's really hit a team like ours badly, right? I mean, 12, 13 years ago now, we lost the Backyard Brawl for an extended period of time. Should have never had to happen, right? And I'm going to give you guys some reasons why I feel like the game has been ruined. Sure, the on-field product's great, and West Virginia and Pitt are playing on 9-13. That's the only thing I'll think about, and I'll zone into that like nobody's business. But that still doesn't mean the game can't be ruined otherwise. Get out of here. You know, it's just it's just it's kind of a weak argument. So there's no heroes in the sport anymore, really, when you think about it. This is another point I like to make with this. So, first of all, the regionality is gone. We were just talking about that. We've lost the backyard brawl. We may be losing it again, which is what we started this video with. And then you want to get to another point. Find me a legend at West Virginia like Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, Tavon Austin, Geno Smith, David Sills. Find me somebody like that. Fans built connections with them, Pat McAfee, over the course of years, right? And it was from their first snap. Duggity Dog used to put out a yearly video on all the upcoming seniors that we recruited into the program. And I would live and die for that video every year to meet these new players. This was kind of before the internet became where you could just find everything all the time. High school tapes everywhere now, but it wasn't always as easy to get a hold of it. And he had it all compilated onto one video. And I used to live and die for that. I used to love watching the highlights of those players, formulate my own opinions. And I'll never forget the first time I ever watched a Tavon Austin highlight video at Dunbar High School in Baltimore. And I will never forget being like, oh my God, we got this amazing player, you know, and telling everybody about it. And then didn't expect him to be as good as he was, as fast as he was, but damn. So that's obviously that's 20 years ago. That's 15 years ago. That's 10 years ago. Now the transfer portal and NIL deals mean more to players, and not saying they shouldn't. It's what they're given. This is what they're had to fool with. This is the deck of cards that they have, whatever, however you want to put this, but they're gone in a flash. They chase big paychecks. They go to better teams. Pat White, Steve Slayton, and Owen Schmidt. Well, maybe not Owen Schmidt. They'd all be at Georgia, or they'd all be at Oregon, or they'd all be at LSU, right? They'd be poached. SEC and Big Ten teams would absolutely be after them, and we would be having a hard time keeping them. For a non-Power 2 school like West Virginia, it's brutal. We can't compete with the NIL war chest of Alabama or Ohio State, who are both on – well, Ohio State is on pace for $40 million in spending. Our homegrown talent gets lured away. We just saw that the other day, you know, with Hawthorne. We've seen it before with – we've even had other players like that, you know, get lured away recent times, like the kid that went to Virginia. So it happens over and over again, and we're left with a revolving door of transfers who don't bleed gold and blue. And it kills the emotional investment that fans have in the team. If Josh Pate can't admit that, then he's in denial. And I love Josh Pate. I do. I love Josh Pate. He's one of my favorite people in this space because I know he loves college football. But he gets really bullish on all this right here. He's so bullish on the sport surviving all this that I think he overlooks the fans that aren't on his side of the fence. And although he doesn't say out loud who his favorite team is, maybe he has before, but I'm pretty sure it's Tennessee, or I know he's an SEC guy, right? But I mean, he tries not to say it, and I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, you're in the in crowd, so your opinion doesn't mean as much as, let's say, a John Kurtz or mine does, or Drake Toll or somebody like that has a team that could be left out of this conversation. If you're already in, you're not caring about the other teams as much. I mean, I know Josh Pate says he cares about college football as a whole, and I do believe him. Still, you're still in, right? If all else fails and goes to hell, you're still in for the most. I mean, it's not changing that. So, no emotional investment. And imagine seeing a sophomore, Pat White, leaving for Georgia the year before the Sugar Bowl for $1 million. And he would have been the quarterback on the team that year, maybe facing an Adam Bednarik. You know, regionality is gone. Rutgers plays in the UCLA. I mean, for God's sakes, college football was built on regional rivalries that defined our culture. We know that. We talk about it all the time. But West Virginia, Pitt, the Backyard Brawl, even West Virginia, Virginia Tech, they're fueled by proximity, right? They're fueled by, hey, I know that guy. We went to school together. He lives down the road now, but he's a Virginia Tech guy. Your alma mater, well, it doesn't have a kid from your hometown playing linebacker anymore. Your team is made up of transfers from Oregon, Central JUCO in Kansas somewhere, Rutgers. You know, how do you want to? I mean, did I ever think I would be looking forward to West Virginia facing Arizona or in Provo, Utah? No, I didn't. And that's not college football. It's turned into a corporate road trip. So now West Virginia, as West Virginia fans, we're stuck in a Big 12 that spans 3 time zones. And while Pitt, a natural rival, is 75 miles away in the ACC, a conference that didn't want us. And so at the end of the day, guys, here's all I'm saying. The paycheck from playing in Alabama at the end of the day is preventing us from playing in a rivalry that basically defines our fan base. At least one of the rivalries that do. It sucks, man. It really does. And maybe I'm in the minority on this and I don't know it, but people are going to continue to pull out of college football if this continues. It may not happen overnight, but I do think it'll happen. The side of the break, there's got to be some solutions to this, right? Well, not so fast. I think we might be in more trouble than we think. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by none other than Monarch Money. When it comes to managing your money, do you ever look in your bank account and say, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center where you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending on one easy, convenient place so you can just stop managing your money and start building your wealth. And if you want those surprising insights, well, how about when I started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. We talked about this before. DoorDash broke. Now I budget smarter and save more. Take control of your finances too with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your very first year. It's segment 2. Let's crack a 245 do as we continue to talk about the state of college football. A couple other things I wanted to get to about college football as a whole and basketball as well. Some things that obviously I think are killing the sport, and a couple of things that people just don't talk about enough. Really, they don't. You know, we talked about the mercenaries, how they're only here for a year. We talked about regionality being dead. We talked about money and it being a rat race now. But here's what we haven't gone to yet. There are players, thousands by the thousands, that are stuck in the portal over their short-term thinking. And, you know, the portal is a double-edged sword. It gives players freedom, absolutely, but it's also a meat grinder. And the data shows, man, 40 to 50% of portal entrants don't find a new team, leaving a ton of kids without scholarships, a place to play. And the players that chase those quick NIL deals or a bigger stage are often in great shape, but when it backfires, they're stranded. And a 10-2 third place team just won the national title, right? And so you would think players off of that team would have a place to go. Well, actually, there's a couple players off of that roster, although albeit have walk-ons, that are still in the portal, right? So the portal's even tougher for people on those kind of teams. Imagine a place like West Virginia. So the roster chain, it just makes it so hard to build continuity, man. It really does. And then when you don't have that, you've got random players here, and it's just a tough situation all the way around. I just think realignment as a whole is horrible. And it's not just about geography. It's a power grab. It's killing competitive balance. It's no tradition is being kept in this situation, hardly at all. The SEC, Big Ten's expansion, you know, even getting Texas, Oklahoma, SEC, USC, UCLA, we can go on and on and on here. We created a super conferences that nobody wants to call super conferences to hoard TV and revenue playoff spots. And the Chronicle of Higher Education actually even called it a balkanized system that's eroding the competitive balance and disrupting traditional rivalries. That's not good for West Virginia, especially. So we're stuck in this conference fighting for relevance while the Power Two schools get automatic playoff bids. We're going to be stuck with the leftovers. And, I am very happy to be in the Big 12. I very much am. I'm just coming at this from the state of the sport, right? So I went ahead and looked under Josh Pate's post, and, I went ahead and just looked at all of the responses, and I'm going to kind of summarize 99% of them. I think most of the common complaints I saw in there, fans are fed up with the loss of loyalty, rivalries, and tradition, plus the commercialization overload. At Todd O'Matic 85 really captured the mood, in my opinion. He said, greedy kids, parents, agents, collectives, no loyalty, conferences and rivalries are ruined, out of control media bias. I'd rather play golf than watch college football games anymore. And I didn't miss a single game of Michigan for over 30 years. Others, like at Land Design Dog, hates the ad overlook and said half the game is dedicated to ads, corporate logos on the fields, jerseys are looking like NASCAR. And I think these complaints hit home for Mountaineer fans. We're not just losing our regional rivalries like Pitt. We're watching our program get priced out of contention by these Power Two giants. And I feel like fans are becoming more disconnected because the sport's become a business and not a passion. And we see this happen all the time. So I think it's basically, this is the way I'm going to summarize this up, man. College football is not dead, no, but greed has sucked the life totally out of it, especially for non-Power Two schools like West Virginia. No heroes, no regionality, money rat race, portal casualties, realignment chaos have changed the game we love. And Mountaineer Nation, we're still here, but it's not the same. And it's okay to be pissed about it. In my opinion, dude, like, it's okay to be mad. We're losing. It's almost like losing a loved one in a lot of ways whenever this kind of thing happens. And someday, you never know, down the road a little ways, what if we lose it all together? I mean, it's hard to believe now. It's hard to see now. But if money continues to be the ultimate focal point, that's where we're going to end up. We're going to end up losing schools, maybe even as big as West Virginia. Or it's going to get irrelevant to the point to where, yay, we beat Samford for the national championship or whatever. And maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am. Maybe I'm going way too far down that road. But let me know down below, what's your biggest gripe with college football today? Because hit me up on Locked on West Virginia over on X, or at Paul Mountaineer over on X, or drop a comment below. And let's keep fighting for the sport we love, because West Virginia deserves better, man, and so do you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's go to break one more time. And on the other side, I got a couple more defensive linemen for you to watch. I love watching tape. We're going to do that next. Stick around. And we are back here, Locked on West Virginia. Two players that I think West Virginia needs to have impacts this year, absolutely, are both junior college transfers. And they're both a little different. I mean, they both play on the D-line, but they play differently in a lot of ways. And first on the list is Adam Tomcheck, Tomczyk. And if you didn't know, he played at Cerritos Community College. 2 years for eligibility. He was at Utah State, so he's a bounce-back guy. He had a really good year last year. And look at this kid play. He's a really good player off the edge. He can set the edge well. He's got some pass rush to him. Check out Adam Tomcheck here. Here he is. He's kind of hidden by the pole, but for those of you listening on podcast, I'll explain it as best I can. So Adam Tomcheck comes off the edge, basically rips underneath the offensive right tackle's arms and strip sack on the quarterback, which you love to see there. Really good play by him. Tomcheck here. Check here. Here he is coming off the edge again. And this is what I love to see, man. So you see Tomcheck come off the edge, and this is a big guy. Let's see if he wins the first step here. Nope, the tackle won the first step. So he's already behind just a little bit, right, before that one step goes. But look at this. He takes 1, 2, a little bit of a jitterbug move, and then this tackle's already lost. And that's a big boy right there. Look at the leverage situation here. This guy's basically standing straight up. Tomcheck is down, knees are bent in an athletic position, and those really long arms are locked onto this right tackle, which means it's bull rush time. Let's see how far he drives him back. Oh, yeah, all the way to the quarterback and a sack. Very nicely done. Takes some strength to do that. Here he is again. Coming off the edge. Oh, meeting with quickness that time. You like that too. So, and this, like I said, he's 6'4", 250, 260. So this is a big guy, man, that can do a little bit of everything. Here's a play where the snap came right at him, really, right? They bring number 1 here in motion, They bring number 1 here in motion, and the quarterback snacks it to him on an actual reverse. Looks like they're faking the play up the gut. And look, Tomcheck doesn't have a lot of time to react to this. And watch, he basically he gets the edge as this guy comes around and makes a great play on the ball in the backfield for a loss. You love to see that too. That's a great play. Setting the edge is one of the most important things you can do as a defensive end and as a tight end. They're both working to do the same thing. If I can blow up your edge, and basically what an edge is, if you're a tight end, let's say there's a reverse coming around your side. You basically want to wall off. You want to be your back you want your back to be to the sideline, basically, and you want to keep your defender inside of you as the player goes around your rear end side. As a defensive end, my goal is to blow that up, right? And get the leverage and either push you back into him or, because, that's just a fight for that ground, basically. And what Tomcheck does as well as anything is he doesn't allow that. You'll see on a few plays. Here he is just rushing straight to, he got there angrily. Big hit. Here he is coming off the edge again. Just too quick for that guy, man. He's got some quickness to his game. It doesn't look the most flashy, but you can see here he's off the edge, and all that is a simple hand fighting technique, guys. If you watch him slap the tackle's hands down as he goes by, that's all it is. And if your head's out over your feet, or if you're off balance and somebody slaps your hands down, you're going to go with your head, and that's what happens to this tackle here. Oh, and I'm gone. Sack. So, and I love the passion, man. Love to see that. Here he is again at the top of your screen. This is exactly what I was just telling you about. So this is what setting the edge as a defensive end is, or disrupting the edge. So whenever somebody is trying to move you in a certain direction, and look, this play is designed to go off guard, in between the center and the guard, it looks like. Let me make sure. Well, it's basically he can do either or. He can come off the center in between the guard right here where Tomcheck is, or he could bounce that thing outside if he wants. But what Tomcheck does is he just blows the play up and doesn't allow that edge to be set, and there's nowhere for them to go. I mean, his guys in the backfield, that hole's gone, that hole's gone. It's over. Unless you're just an elite athlete, which, some of the best teams do have, and they still make plays out of it. So here he is again. So you see Tomcheck immediately. He's at the top of your screen playing right defensive end here. And watch how he gets hands into the guy and shreds off. That's a beautifully done job here. So hands, see him lock out, and I don't know how well you can see this, and watch him shred and get back there in a hurry. Very nicely done. He's really good with his hands. I would love to interview him and talk to him about it. Here he is again. Oh, shoot. I may have went a little too far here. I accidentally went to the wrong place, guys. Here it is again. Okay, here we go. And as you can see, he almost made it back there. So we're not going to watch this entire tape, but we've got one more to get to as well on the defensive line. I want to make sure he gets his time in as well. But yeah, Adam Tomcheck is a guy that, I've heard a lot of good things about, and I heard he's got a chance to play a lot of snaps for us. He's going to be in that battle he'll be in the room with Jamori Robinson, Eddie Kelly, guys like that. But as you can see, he brings a lot to the table here. He's got 2 years left. He's got some explosion. He's got some physicality. If he can gain some more power, he's absolutely got a shot to make a really big impact for us this year. So keep your eyes out for Adam Tomcheck. He's just been signed from the JUCO. So here we are. We got another player here that I'm really excited about that I don't know how many of you guys have seen yet. Elijah Simmons. So my buddy on the BIP list has him rated as a 4-star transfer. And look how quickly he's back there. Boom, sack. But, when you look at Elijah Simmons, the first thing you notice with him is he's got some really good ball get off and closing speed for a D lineman. It's the size he is. I think he weighs in right around 300. We're going to need him to make an impact this year. Because if you look at it, Nate Gabriel is shown a lot of flashes. If he takes a step, he could be really good. Obviously, we've got him and Russell back. We don't know what we're going to get with Corey McIntyre, but if he can turn into what the coaches think he could be, he can end up being one of the most, skyrocketing, just best players on the roster based on what we've heard about him. But we haven't seen him play a snap yet, so we got to wait and see. We need a really good nose tackle to play this 3-3-5. Here he is again, and I mean he plays more than nose to be fair. So here he is again, working his way down the defensive line and getting in the backfield, making a tackle. Nicely done. Very, very nice. Here he is again, playing right up under, and there's a great pass rush move to swim under. As you can see, watch him dip that shoulder here. So this is a great pass rushing move. So he dips the shoulder like this to get up underneath and plays with some really good bend here. Look at that. It's a quick move for a guy his size. Watch how he puts it on him with the little shuffle and then gets up underneath. I like to see it. Yep. Boom. And he's back there. And, man, when he's got a full head of steam, you do not want to be in his way. There's just no two ways about it. Here he is again. And look at the leverage, guys. Watch how low he gets here when he loads up. Look at how low he is right here. I mean, that's incredible. Perfectly done. Now, some coaches would teach him to have his head up a little bit more. But, I mean, at the end of the day, man, if you're that low, you're going to win a lot of battles. And watch him drive his defender back from being that low. I mean, it's no chance, right? No chance. I love to see a guy get that low. It's rare to see. But, I mean, you see how low he is, and then he uses that leverage to just shove the big guy off and he makes the play. So, very impressive. Very impressive to see that. Here's a great camera angle. I want to say, yeah, there's him right there. You're staring right at his butt. He's sitting right in between the guard and tackle. So you can see him there again. He plays with some attitude. He's got some power to his game. Look at this. He's actually not lower here. Same move as last time, right? It's that basically just get off me and I'm going by whether you want me to or not. That's what he does here. Get off me. And he makes a tackle. Nicely done. So this is the same play we saw as earlier. Not the same play, but the same move, except from the other side. This time, instead of that left shoulder, he dips that right shoulder up underneath and makes a heck of a play right there, just real subtly, and actually makes a play on the running back. So he's got some athleticism to his game that you may. Oh, that's a nasty one. I mean, you want to talk about hands and shedding a guy up off you that's trying to block you. How about this play here by Elijah Simmons? So boom, they lock, and it could be a stalemate right here. Anybody could win the way they look, although you would give Simmons, based on leverage, it would look like he would win this. But, anybody could win so far. But, I mean, look at him just absolutely use that offensive tackle's leverage against him and just pull the okie doke. Get off me. And he basically kind of just – and this happens, you'll get a guy that will pull you or you'll pull him. And that's what he did here. Get off me. Nicely done. And he tracks the running back basically all the way down there. Really, really good play by him. I mean, goodness gracious. Was he just pushing guys back or what there? Unbelievable. So as he gets back there, the running back's right here, but he knocks this guy back into the running back. Gosh, look at this. This guy had no chance to block him. They basically got it tied into the backfield coming in motion. And Simmons comes off, doesn't get blocked, and kind of runs into a pulling guard and the tight end at the same time and blows them both up, then tackles the running back. Boom. Incredible play. Wow. I might have started my reel with that play if I was him. Okay, here he is playing defensive end, guys. And look at that play. Holy cow. Wow. Why didn't he start with this one? That's crazy. So these reels are way deep down in this. I mean, we're a minute and a half into the video. And sure, we've seen some really great stuff so far. But look at Elijah Simmons playing defensive end here. Incredible play. He leaps over the cut blocker. Oh, I got to watch it again. So, okay. Basically what happens is he's coming in unblocked, but the running back is there to pick him up as the tackle has to take the defensive end. It looks like the guard so there's kind of a miscommunication here. The guard should have took him, but he didn't. So he gets a free run at it, and the running back goes to make the cut block, the chop block, and he literally leaps over him, hurdles him like Superman, and strips the quarterback. Incredible play. Wow. Oh, no, the quarterback was able to hold on to it. That's a pretty good play. It's just another. I mean, he gets back there a lot, man. How many sacks did he have? I mean, he's consistently beating these guys with quickness. If this translates up, we could have a real player on our hands here, a guy that can pass rush and stop the run. Look at the quickness. Look at the moves. Oh my God. Nasty. Play wouldn't run towards him, so it didn't matter. But, I mean, it was a great play anyways. Can't wait to see this kid against Power 4 competition and see what he can do here. Here he is again. Yeah, man, I like Elijah Simmons for sure. He is going to be a player for us. So he's going to be, one of those guys that played D-tackle this year and is going to have a lot of snaps before the year's over with, it looks like. Now, obviously, there's a lot that can happen, but really enjoyed that, So Elijah Simmons is a name to watch, guys, is the big defensive tackle for West Virginia. Is definitely impressed me with some of that video. And that's why I say, people say that I'm like, whenever I watch these highlights, people tell me I'm crazy. They tell me that I'm sprinkling too much sugar on it, basically. But I'm not. I really do believe that Rich Rod and company have found some players in the portal this time and JUCO that are really good. And listen, there'll come a time that maybe I'll either be right or wrong. I mean, sure, but we'll find out. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Locked On West Virginia. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, and drop a follow if you're following me over on X, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. By the way, for your second listen, Locked On Portal is a show that you're going to love if you love to follow the portal. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings, and you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to college football landscape. If you find the portal on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, you won't regret it, guys. Make sure you check him out. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Hope you had a great weekend, and I'll see you the rest of this week as players are coming. Listen, they start practice on Tuesday. Can't wait to watch. We'll see you then. This episode's over, and I'm out of here.